The snow was falling so thick it felt like the sky itself was trying to bury the truth. Beneath the frozen branches of a towering pine, a Navy SEAL lay motionless against the trunk, blood streaked across his face like war paint carved by fate. Above him, a tangled parachute swayed in the icy wind, whispering the story of a mission gone wrong. And in the distance, a retired veteran and his loyal K-9 were about to walk into a moment that would change all of their lives forever. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the unbreakable bond between warriors who never truly stop serving, take a second to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this. Thomas Granger had once been the kind of soldier who ran toward gunfire without hesitation. Years ago, he had served in silence, in places most people only saw on maps during the evening news. But retirement had come not with celebration, but with quiet. The medals were tucked away in a drawer. The uniform hung untouched in the back of his closet. All that remained of that life was his German Shepherd, Rex, a disciplined, intelligent K-9 who had saved Thomas more times than he could count. On that bitter winter morning, Thomas had only planned a simple hike through the woods near his cabin. The forest was usually peaceful, a place where he could breathe without hearing echoes of the past. Rex trotted ahead, nose low to the snow, ears alert. Then he stopped. His body stiffened. A low whine rumbled from his chest, the kind Thomas knew meant something wasn't right. Through the curtain of snow, Thomas saw it, a collapsed parachute tangled in branches. His heart pounded. Training never truly fades, it only sleeps. He moved carefully, rifle in hand, eyes scanning. And then he saw the man at the base of the tree. A Navy SEAL. Younger. Strong. Broken. Blood had frozen against his skin, and his breathing was shallow, barely visible in the frigid air. For a moment, Thomas froze, not from the cold, but from memory. He had once been the one lying in the dirt, waiting for someone to find him. War had taken friends from him. It had taken pieces of him he never got back. And here, in the quiet of civilian life, it had returned in the form of a wounded stranger. Rex moved first. The dog gently nudged the fallen SEAL's hand, then looked back at Thomas with urgency. That look was enough. The veteran dropped to his knees, checking the man's pulse, assessing injuries with steady hands that had done this before under far worse conditions. The SEAL's eyes fluttered open for a second, unfocused, filled with confusion and pain. Snow gathered on his lashes like tiny crystals. Getting him out would not be easy. The nearest road was miles away. The temperature was dropping. Every second mattered. Thomas removed his heavy jacket and wrapped it around the young man's torso, pressing his own body heat against him to slow the cold's deadly advance. He spoke calmly, not in orders, but in reassurance. Rex stayed close, curling against the SEAL's side to provide warmth, as if he understood the weight of the moment. The trek back to the cabin was brutal. Thomas fashioned a crude sled from branches and rope pulled from the tangled parachute. Inch by inch, step by painful step, he dragged the injured soldier through thick snow. His muscles screamed. His lungs burned. Memories of past missions tried to flood his mind, but he pushed forward. This wasn't about the past. This was about right now. Hours later, inside the warmth of the cabin, Thomas worked with relentless focus. He cleaned wounds, stabilized fractures as best he could, and radioed for emergency support. From the one contact he still trusted, Rex never left the SEAL's side. When the young man finally regained consciousness fully, his eyes filled not with fear, but with disbelief. He had expected to die alone in the snow. Instead, he had been found by a man who understood the cost of the uniform he wore. News of the rescue spread quickly once authorities arrived. They learned the SEAL had been part of a classified training exercise gone wrong. A sudden storm had scattered the team. Against impossible odds, he had landed miles off course. Experts later admitted that without Thomas and Rex, survival would have been unlikely. But what amazed everyone wasn't just the rescue. It was what came next. In the weeks that followed, the young SEAL returned to the cabin, not as a patient but as a friend. He listened as Thomas slowly opened up about the weight he had carried since retirement. The guilt of surviving when others hadn't. The silence that followed service. And in turn, he shared his own fears, the pressure to live up to legends, the quiet terror of vulnerability. Two warriors from different generations found healing not in medals or headlines, but in shared understanding. Rex would sit between them, tail thumping softly, as if proud of the bridge he had helped build. The rescue had not only saved a life, it had restored one. Thomas realized he had never truly stopped being a soldier. Service wasn't a chapter. It was who he was. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who believes in courage and compassion. And before we end, I have one special request. Comment the word Brotherhood below to honor the unbreakable bond between those who serve. Because sometimes, in the coldest storms, it isn't strength alone that saves us. It's loyalty. It's kindness. It's the refusal to walk away when someone else is falling. And on that frozen day in the silent woods, a retired veteran and his faithful K9 reminded the world that heroes don't retire, they simply wait for the next chance to answer the call.